Hello everyone, my name is Apple Guy, and welcome back to another Disneycember video. In today's Disneycember video, I will be discussing my experience with the 2022 Festival of Holidays. For those of you who do not know, the Festival of Holidays is an annual celebration of winter holidays around the world that takes place in Disney's California Adventure Park. This year it runs from November the 11th through January the 8th, so if you're watching this video and plan to head to Disneyland sometime in the next week, you can use my information in this video to get yourself the best treats from the booths. That is what the Festival of Holidays is about, after all. It is a collection of special booths with food and drink that are unique to the time. There's also some performances from hired groups that Disney brings in that you can't see any other time in the theme park. In this video, I will be discussing 5 foods and 1 performance. I will actually only be covering 4 foods, and I'll have a special guest come on and discuss the final food. And then the performance is something I will briefly mention because I caught it while I was eating some of the foods, and I just had to mention it because I had a really good time. So that's the brief introduction to the Festival of Holidays. Let's jump right into my experience. My Festival of Holidays began in that sort of weird unincorporated area directly after Buena Vista Street. It's like outside of Avengers Campus and outside of Paradise Pier and outside of all these areas. I don't know what that area is called. Can someone tell me in the comment section if that area has a name? It's like that unincorporated area that goes along the dock. I don't know. Anyway, the first booth that I stopped at was Winter Sliderland, and here I actually got 2 food items. The first food item I got was the holiday ham slider, and the second item I got was the brisket slider. I believe this was all of the food options that they had, and so I chose to eat them both. In order to eat these, I parked it outside of the Wine Country Trattoria, and I found an empty table and I began to eat. The holiday ham slider is described as having cranberry bacon jam and Gruyere on a salt and pepper brioche bun. It was $9, and I think it was actually my favorite thing that I ate throughout the whole Festival of Holidays experience. It was very simply a ham sandwich. When I bit into it, I was like, yep, this is a ham sandwich. And it was good. Sometimes the simplest things are the best. I found that the holiday ham slider was truly just something I enjoyed eating. I don't have too much to say about it because it wasn't anything super special in my mind. It was just a nice, reliable sandwich to eat, and I would definitely eat it again. The other item I got from Winter Sliderland was the brisket slider. It is described as having smoked onions and horseradish ketchup on a pretzel roll, and this item was not really my favorite. I think it had a bit too much barbecue sauce. When I bit into it, all I tasted was barbecue. In fact, reading through this again, I didn't even know it had horseradish ketchup. I totally would have avoided it because I'm not like a horseradish person, but I didn't notice there was horseradish at all. It was literally just eating barbecue sauce essentially. And so that one wasn't my favorite. I ended up eating that one first, finishing it first that is, because I wanted to be able to go back and enjoy the holiday ham slider slowly. And truthfully, I wouldn't get the brisket slider again, but if you're stopping at Winter Sliderland and you're a ham enjoyer, make sure you pick up the holiday ham slider. It was definitely worth the money. While I was sitting at the Wine Country Trattoria, I actually caught a bit of a performance from the Festival of Holidays. The group Mostly Kosher performed at the little stage outside of the restaurant, and their performance was really fun.
Endless parties and celebrations!
I believe they're a Jewish group, and they had a bit of comedy going on. They had a lot of loud music, but it wasn't loud in a bad sense. It was loud as in a very festive, very happy, very attention-grabbing sense, and I was thoroughly hooked. I would actually take breaks from eating just to watch them. I don't have too good of a video. I think my dad might have taken some video of them, so I'll show that here if I can. But I was kind of just enjoying the music, listening to them laugh and have a good time. And they performed some songs that were in Yiddish, I believe, so I didn't really understand what they were saying, but I could just feel the energy. It was a grand old time. If you get the chance to watch them, especially at nighttime, I think they are a fabulous group. 2 thumbs up to them. Very good job, Mostly Kosher. That's all I have to say about this area, though. I will continue my Festival of Holidays journey by walking down towards Ariel's Undersea Adventure and stopping at the Favorite Things booth. The Favorite Things booth is where you can get the Mrs. Claus's Hot Cocoa Macaroon, which is inspired by the Disney Plus series The Santa Clauses, in case you were curious. It describes it as a red macaroon filled with chocolate hot cocoa filling and ganache, finished with a chocolate decoration. It was $6.50, and I cannot tell you a single thing about this macaroon because I actually didn't eat it. Thankfully, my sister stopped at this booth, purchased the macaroon, and ate most of it. She actually shared it with the rest of my family. I didn't take a bite, or maybe I did take a bite and I just don't remember it that much. But I'm very very pleased to invite my sister onto the Disneycember show, and she will be describing the Mrs. Claus hot chocolate macaroon. I have absolutely no clue what she's going to say. She has recorded this before I have sat down to do my portion, and I'll just be editing it right in. So let's hope she has something good to say. Take it away.
Hello everyone, I am here today to do the Macaron review. So I got this delicious macaron from one of the festival holidays booths in Disney's California Adventure. It was really, really good. The size was decent for the price that we paid. The cookie parts were thick, and the filling to cookie ratio was actually pretty 50-50. The chocolate was a little too sweet, and this is coming from someone who actually really likes sweet things. It was a decadent dessert, but at the end of the day, it really was just another macaroon. I wouldn't necessarily label it as a must-get when you go to the parks, but for the sweet tooth I had that night, it definitely satisfied the craving.
Thank you very much for that glowing review, or maybe it was a bad review. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet. But yes, that is my sister's review of the Mrs. Claus's hot chocolate macaroon. Whatever she says, I stand by her because she's probably right. She ate it, she bought it with her own money, so she definitely has some thoughts on it. Thankfully, I'm able to take over the rest of the Festival of Holidays review because I solely ate the last two items. These items are over at Merry Mashups, which is directly outside the Golden Zephyr. I ate the two food items that they offered there, which was the turkey poutine for $8 and the esquites, sorry I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, carnitas mac and cheese for $8.50. I ate both of these items completely on my own, and I will now be divulging how I feel about them. Starting with the turkey poutine. The turkey poutine is described as layers of roasted turkey, sweet potato bites, cheese curds and gravy topped with frosted cranberries. I was not the biggest fan of this turkey poutine. I would like to try regular poutine. I like the idea of poutine, I think it sounds nice, but all of these flavors combined were not doing it for me. We'll break it down sort of bit by bit. The roasted turkey wasn't superb. It tasted very artificial, if that makes sense, which does make sense because they're not really cooking food back there. They don't have an oven or anything. It almost was like a really bad frozen dinner, if that makes sense. If you go to like your local grocery store and you go to the frozen aisle and get like a turkey meal from there, I think it would taste a bit like that. The sweet potato bites, I'm not a sweet potato person, so that immediately disqualifies me from that deal. Cheese curds, again, very, very strong, and especially when I couldn't combine it with something like the turkey and the sweet potato bites, I was just eating cheese. Not great. The gravy, inoffensive, not superb, nothing I would write home about. As far as gravy goes, I mean, it wasn't the worst part of the meal. The worst part of the meal, I can tell you for certain, was the frosted cranberries, because holy buckets, those things were sour as heck. They were frosted with sugar, so they're supposed to taste like a mixture of like sour and sweet. I had to pick those cranberries out because they would overpower anything you had in the bite. Anything at all. You just taste sourness. It was crazy. The turkey poutine is definitely something I would not get again. If they changed something up about it, if they took out the cranberries, if they put regular potatoes instead of sweet potatoes, something like that, I would be interested in trying it again. And of course, the chance to have regular poutine, I would totally try it. But this was probably the low point of the Festival of Holidays for me. Like I said, I only ate 5 items, so I'm not judging the entire menu of the festival. But of the 5 things I ate, I think the turkey poutine is probably at the bottom of the list. If it sounds great to you, definitely give it a try. I won't discourage you because of my negative experience with it. I just think that the flavors on their own didn't really do well, and the flavors together also kind of seem to clash. I'm not really sure where you would go about getting like the perfect bite of this turkey poutine. On the opposite side of the spectrum, however, we have the carnitas mac and cheese. The description for this is esquites, probably pronouncing that wrong, inspired mac and cheese with carnitas, salsa matcha, spiced puffed rice, freeze-dried corn, and chopped cilantro. It was $8.50, and it was probably the second best thing I ate the entire day. If I had one minor complaint about it, I would say that it was a little bit spicy, but of course that's coming from me. I'm someone who does not do well with spicy foods at all. I will avoid like mild salsa and whatnot. I'll pick jalapenos off of things for reference, so if you're someone who enjoys spicy foods, I'm sure this will be an easy purchase for you. It'll be very easy to dig in and eat it all up. But what I ended up doing was eating the meat out of it first, and that was the spiciest part. And then I just had this mac and cheese that was really, really, really good. Everything worked well together, unlike in the turkey poutine. I think this mac and cheese was a really spectacular little dish. Like I said, the only thing I would complain about would be the spice, but I just picked it out, make sure I had a bottle of water with me as well, and it was very easy to enjoy that. I really enjoyed the puffed rice. It has a little bit of crunch to the macaroni and cheese. Usually I'm not someone who enjoys like the crunchy bits of macaroni and cheese. Like if you make a Stouffer's mac and cheese in the microwave and the edges get a little burnt or crispy, I usually pick those out. But having the crunch from the spiced puffed rice was really, really good. Definitely recommend giving this one a try. Was the second best thing I ate at the entire festival, and I would for sure dig into this again. That will about wrap up my experience with the Festival of Holidays in 2022, however. If you want to walk in my shoes, you can pick the foods that I ate in the order that I enjoyed them least to most. I would probably say it was the turkey poutine, followed by the brisket slider, then the macaroni and cheese, and then the holiday ham slider. So definitely try the ham slider and the mac and cheese for sure. That is going to wrap up my video though. There is one video left of Disneycember 2022, and it will be related to the very, very needed refurbishment of a Disneyland ride. If you can guess it, leave your guesses in the comments section down below. That is going to be all for now, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please hit like and subscribe, and tell your friends about my channel if you think they would enjoy it. It means a lot to me when you guys spread my videos around. And I'll catch you guys all back here next time for my next video. Until then, as always, take care.